Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. I want to talk about near me and also nearby keywords for local SEO, some tips that you guys can maybe implement to get better rankings. This is perfect for if you're, let's say, a brick and mortar, like a dentist or a nail salon, or something like a service area only, like an HVAC or a plumber. So when I do search for mobile pet grooming near me, I have an ad at the very top, but then I have 3 organic map pack listings directly underneath that. Google only displays 3 organic map pack listings. If I click on more businesses now, it's going to actually recycle all this, but it's going to show me every business in the area. So I talk about this with my clients all the time. We need to be in the top 3 in as many areas as possible because that's what's going to get the most impressions, website clicks, phone calls, and potential leads for their business. So I always start off with a scan within local Falcon. So I did the keyword search mobile dog grooming near me. This is an 8-mile radius 9x9 grid. Now, I work with a company called Fluffy Friends, Mobile Pet Grooming. I've been helping them for a little bit. So I'm going to demo them off here and explain a little bit of how they're ranking well, but also some potential tips that they could do, and also maybe you can do for your business. So to start, let's say in Glens Falls North, you search for this exact keyword. They're going to be at the very top. So you can click on View Screenshot. Local Falcon does a cached version exactly at that time. Who ranks there at the very top? So again, if I did the search, Fluffy Friends is there, Pampered Pups, and then Honeybee. Everything else below that now is not on page 1. They only show up on the map search. That's why it's so critical. So let's pretend, though, that their business really wanted to rank in Lake George. They did the scan, and here they are at position 5. So we just went over how that's not on page 1. Google only displays the top 3 organic map pack listings. So you click on View Screenshot. Again, it's just going to confirm who's ranking at the top, and they are not there. You have to scroll down a little bit, and then here they are. But again, they're not on page 1, therefore they're missing out on that opportunity. So I'm going to go over some things that they're doing well on their profile, and then maybe a tip of what they can do to rank better in Lake George. So to start, the first thing that you want to do is let's just click on some random listing here. Let's go to Tidy Paws, for example. Oops, let me go back. Let's click on their actual listing. Now, the first thing that you can do is if you're trying to rank better for this particular keyword and you want to be in Lake George, areas served as a minor ranking factor. You have up to 20 that you can list. So you can go through and you click on edit profile for your own location, and you can then add Lake George right there. That's step number 1. Now you're giving a little bit of a signal to Google. Say, hey, we service Lake George. Great. Step number 2. Let's look at this particular search here. So what I did was I took their brand domain URL and I did -site brand URL again. So what I'm trying to show here is every third-party site that they are listed on. They're on Facebook, they're on Yelp, they're on Instagram. These are really good sources, but this is what I recommend too. They're not ranking on page 1 in Lake George. Lake George, if you're not familiar, is a very popular summer destination place for people to visit. I'm sure they bring their animals and pets as well. This would be a huge keyword, especially in the summer. So what I would personally do is I would actually do Google or Bing searches for Lake George, New York Chamber of Commerce's, Lake George, New York newsletters, or any publications. And I would actually work to get my business listed on there because you want to have third-party sites that talk about your business. So for example, if I was trying to rank better in Lake George, I want to be on a local directory that's in Lake George. I want them to talk about my business via a listing, but then also I can work on a promotional schedule with them as well. So if I'm on a Chamber of Commerce, maybe I can get featured on an Instagram post or a direct mailer or anything else like that. And now I'm directly talking to the audience within Lake George. My brand name searches might increase. Therefore, it might actually translate into more non-brand searches as well, or the combination of brand search plus non-brand search. Show my listen. So that's step number 2, getting on third-party sites. All right, and then number 3, let's look at their actual website. Let's go to this over here. Now, one thing that they're doing well is that immediately on their homepage, they say now serving, and they have all these different areas over here. Fort Anne, Warrensburg, Fort Edward, etc. What I would do is I would have Lake George listed there immediately at the top because the homepage is where you're linking from your Google business profile directly to your website. You want to have Lake George featured there. That could be the next connection. And then finally, this is a bonus tip, but if you then went to Lake George and let me open up this map here. If you went to Lake George and you did your mobile dog grooming service, what you can do is you can have a QR code directly right there. So if the person had their pet had their dog groomed, you can ask them then to leave a review if they would be willing. If they scan the QR code and then they leave a review, those coordinates are actually dropped right there. So there's a lot of debate in local SEO around geo tagging photos, geo tagging reviews. I think there's some weight behind it, not necessarily from adding it manually, but from a direct somebody on their phone leaving a review in Lake George. I think those signals are minor, and I think that's picked up by Google. So that review is a freshness factor, but also you're in Lake George, you left the review. And then be a bonus tip if they then took a photo of their pet and then they uploaded that within the review. I think that those coordinates on the photo plus also the reviews is a minor ranking factor that can actually kind of push you to the top of page one within Lake George. What I would also do too, this is just another final tip, is I would actually look at all three of these top listings over here and then look for gaps. Gaps are things like you look at their hours, you would look at their area code, you would look at their secondary categories, primary categories, anything that you can kind of garner from that and say, what can we do to rank a little bit better than them for this particular keyword and really go after Lake George. But all in all, Fluffy Friends has about a 50% share. So the 50% of the time out of these 81 dots, they're on page one. I can click on any listing over here and I can see how the map changes. This is all important. And then what I would do next is once I make some of these changes, I would then keep running weekly scans within Local Falcon to see if my share of local voice increases. Because if it does, go from, let's say, a 50% to a 65% or a 75% to a 90%, that does lead to more impressions, more phone calls, more website clicks, and potentially even more leads for your business. Anyway, thanks for watching this video and stay tuned for the next one.